Shabbos, and Chanuka. When you come to Parshas Vayeishev, you have to ask yourself, everyone has to ask themselves, what is going on? There's a crazy story about Yosef's brothers selling him. There was a huge din. The brothers sat down as a bezdin. Yehuda decided, sell Yosef. Not going to kill him. We're not going to let him go. That was the pshara. That's how they came out of din. A din that comes out from pshara. That's the goal. Baruch Hashem. They sell Yosef. Why did Hashem make this whole thing happen? To send Yosef down, to put him through all this turmoil? What did Yosef do to deserve it? So, Ramchal writes in Derech Hashem that there's a number of reasons why tzaras help can happen to a person. The general klal is that there's always a deeper meaning. There's an underline, there's an undercurrent, something that's happening behind the scenes. The Al-Sheikh HaChadosh tells us in this week's Parshas that Yosef was sent down to Mitzrayim to prepare Klal Yisrael for the Shibud that they were going to spend there. Mitzrayim is Erev Haaretz. It was the lowest of the low. Parshas and Para. They shedded all sense of morality. How is Klal Yisrael supposed to survive that? So the Al-Sheikh Yosef HaTzadik didn't go straight to Mitzrayim. First he went to the home of Potiphar, and he had the Nisayon of Vayeishev Potiphar, and he went from Michael Achol to the Madrega that he was able to be kind of the Kedusha of Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef HaTzadik. And he brought that power with him, that power of Kedusha to Mitzrayim, and he planted it all over. And now when Klal Yisrael came, they were safe. They had that haschala, they were prepared. Everything goes after the way you prepare something. The way it's prepared, that's how it is going to manifest in the future. The first Beis HaMikdash was prepared by David HaMelech, who knew that he wasn't able to actually build it, but he prepared it. That Beis HaMikdash lasted, Baruch Hashem. As long as it did. The second Beis HaMikdash, not as long. Why not? Because Klal Yisrael didn't show up. About a tenth of Klal Yisrael showed up when they were actually allowed, after the Purim story, when they were actually allowed to build the Beis HaMikdash. They set the foundation before Purim. After Purim, they actually built it with Kairish. There wasn't a big turnout. They weren't prepared. This Kairish king, or maybe it was Esther's son. Maybe he was a yid. He didn't know he was a yid. Said they could build it. A couple people showed up. Ezra, let's build it. But there was no hachanos. We'll show a push to be able to create this start off our day and our lives and our goals with an oomph, with a geschmack, to be able to complete them the way we want them to be. The ultimate mahadrim and mahadrim is a ma'aseh of a yid who never went through the Holocaust. We can't judge anyone who goes through anything like that, or anyone who goes through any tzar. And he came out and he blocked out of his mind the entire event. It's like it never happened. And Yiddishkeit was nothing to him. He couldn't handle it. He moved to America. He married a Jewish woman. Moved to some Hicksville where there wasn't a yid in sight. No one asked any questions. And he had a son. When this boy turned 13, father had something in his brain, his little bug that said he's a bar mitzvah bacher. Bar mitzvah bacher has to get a bar mitzvah gift. Anti-religious, but he needs something for his bar mitzvah. Fine. He said, kid, we're going to town. I'm going to get you a gift. He had plenty of money at this point. He had a well-going business. Pick anything you want for your bar mitzvah present. 13 years old, your birthday gift is on the house. They went to town, a couple miles away. And they're walking through the main street, the shopping district, and they're going through aisles and aisles of merchandise. And every toy, every gadget, every shenanigan you can imagine. Nothing was clicking with this kid. Nothing resonated. He's like, this is not what I want my ultimate gift to be. So what does he do? Next door. As they're walking, they pass by a Judaica store. Wow! Father said, no, we don't do that. Everything in there is a relic, has nothing to do with you. Kids that I want to see. Follows this kid into the store. And his kid looking around. It's an interesting, it wasn't just a farm store, they had antiques also. And in the corner, there was one decrepit, crachy old menorah. Looked like it was made by a 2-year-old in Ghana. And they look, and this kid said, what's the story with this menorah? And his father said, kid, what are you doing? He said, this is not us. And the store owner says, well, actually, this menorah was handcrafted by an inmate in Auschwitz. And it seems that he didn't make it. But we found this menorah buried in Auschwitz after the war. Wow. Kid said, Dad, I want it. He says, this is what you want, really? I'll buy you a motorcycle. I'll buy you a Corvette. Like, just what you want. This is what you want. this is what I want. What could he do? This is what his kids want. This will make him happy. He was hoping it would just be some sort of a phase. He worked out a price with the store owner, a big price, and they brought the menorah home. They thought it would fade. He put it up on a shelf. That year, the kid saw on his calendar that it was Chanuka, and he pulled down the menorah, and he said, "Mom, Dad, I want to light it." He said, "You crazy? What are you doing out of your mind? This is not what we do." He said, "I want to light it." Fine. His father is helping him set up the menorah. As they're setting it up on the windowsill, one of the branches fell off. Just popped off. Father picked it up, and inside there was a note folded and jabbed into the stem of one of the candlesticks. Mazeh? Father takes it out and reads it. It's written in Yiddish. The kid says, "Dad, what does it say?" I said, "I'll tell you." Interesting. It says, "I'm in this concentration camp. I don't know if I'm going to survive. No one knows. No one knows if they're going to be alive tomorrow. But I've been picking up scraps all year long just to be able to create this menorah for Chanuka. I might not make it to Chanuka. Whoever finds it, I want you to light it, and it should be a zchus for me." Signed, and the father faints. They revive him, they pick him up, give him a drink. He said, "Dad, what's going on?" They look at the paper. It's his signature. He totally blacked out all memory of it, and his time in Auschwitz was blank, it was black. But he was a religious Yid in Auschwitz, and he was Meiser Nefesh to be able to put together, assemble this menorah in a concentration camp. And his own son, years later, was lighting that menorah. Baruch Hashem, his son became frum. It's really about what you start. It's really about the aschala. It's about what you invest. And yeah, he lost it later on, but he put it in something stark, and it lasted. And if it wasn't with him, it was with the future generations. And if the nace wasn't for Vayeishev, the whole ordeal was not for Vayeishev himself. It was to set up, says the Alshtach, for future generations. And we should all be zeichet to the Kedusha of Vayeishev. And Be'ezer Hashem, the building of the third Beis HaMikdash, B'mir B'Yameinu. Amen. Beis Yisrael.